Hello everybody, hope all of you are well, and today I will continue the chemical bonding chapter. Last day I have discussed the formation of MOT, that means molecular orbital theorem, and from this theorem we will be able to know the nature and behavior of a molecule, that is depending upon its electronic configuration. The electronic configuration can be used to predict the stability of a molecule, okay, and we can be able to tell the bond order, bond length, bond dissociation energy, number of covalent bonds, and magnetic behavior of the molecule from this molecular orbital theory diagram. Generally, electrons in the bonding molecular orbital give stability, okay, to the molecule, whereas electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbital destabilize the molecule. So when number of bonding electron will be equal to the number of anti-bonding electron, okay, then it is unstable and the molecule will not exist. But if the number of anti-bonding electron is greater than the number of bonding electron, then also molecule is very much unstable and it will not exist. But if the number of bonding electron is greater compared to the number of anti-bonding electron, then the molecule is stable. And we can easily calculate the bond order. If bond order is more than 0, okay, that means 1, 2, 3 or fractional, then the bond will exist. And we can calculate the bond order by this formula, that bond order of a molecule in the molecular orbital theory, that is the number of bonding electron in the MO minus number of anti-bonding electron in MO divided by 2, okay, and higher the value of bond order, higher will be the stability of the molecule. Now bond order is inversely proportional with the bond length. That means if we increase the bond order, bond length will decrease. The higher the bond order, shorter is the bond length. Next, another, that bond order is directly proportional to bond dissociation energy. Bond order is directly proportional to the bond dissociation energy. So higher the bond order, higher energy will be required to dissociate or break the bond. Okay. So if the bond order is higher, bond dissociation energy will be higher. More amount of energy is required to break the bond. If we think about nitrogen molecule, we will calculate their bond order is 3. But in case of hydrogen molecule, bond order is 1, or oxygen molecule, bond order is 2. As in nitrogen the bond order is 3, so it is very much stable, and to break this nitrogen triple bond, okay, nitrogen triple bond, huge amount of energy is required. That is why this nitrogen acts as an inert gas, okay, it will generally not react. Okay, in high temperature, okay, during lightning it will react with the atmospheric oxygen, forming nitric oxide. That is high temperature, huge amount of temperature is required. Generally in the laboratory or industry, okay, it will not react so easily. High temperature or high pressure is required. Bond rate is also useful to calculate the number of covalent bonds between atoms in a molecule. If the bond rate is 1, that means single covalent bond. If the bond rate is 2, between two atoms, that is the two double covalent bond. If the bond rate is 3, that means triple covalent bond. So bond order in a molecule is equal to the number of covalent bonds. The molecules where all electrons are paired, okay, then we can tell it is diamagnetic. And when there is unpaired electron in the MO diagram, okay, definitely the molecule will be paramagnetic and it will be attracted by magnetic field. So this magnetic character we also can predict by this MO diagram. So greater the number of unpaired electrons, higher will be the paramagnetism. Next we will discuss the MO diagram, okay, how to fill up the electrons in the MO orbitals, that we will discuss one by one. So MO diagram, how to draw MO diagram we have already seen, discussed in previous class. So first we will check that hydrogen molecule will exist or not. We draw the MO diagram of hydrogen molecule, okay. So here this one is the energy, and here we know that these are the atomic orbital of hydrogen. These are two atomic orbital of hydrogen. Now these two atomic orbital will combine and they will form molecular orbital. One will be at the lower energy, that is bonding molecular orbital, and another will be at the higher energy level, that is anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay, if this is 1s, this one is 1s, then 1s will combine to form sigma 1s, and this will be the anti-bonding at the higher energy level, and this is called sigma star 1s. Now each atomic orbital of hydrogen contain one electron. Here also one electron. So now we have to fill up the electrons in the bonding molecular orbital from lower energy to higher energy, as well as we have to obey the Hund's rule. So these two principles, that above principle and Hund's rule, will also work here. Okay. So here each molecular orbital can pose maximum 2 electrons. So here there will be 2 electron, 1 electron and another electron, both electrons being the opposite spin. So this is the MO diagram of hydrogen molecule. Now in this case we have to calculate the bond order. So what will be the bond order? Bond order will be the number of bonding electron minus number of anti-bonding electron divided by 2. So in the bonding molecular orbital there is 2 electron, that is 2 minus 0 divided by 2. That means what? 1. So what will be the structure or molecule structure, okay, of hydrogen? That will be that only one bond is present. So here definitely bond order will be 1. And regarding the magnetic character, so here in the MO diagram all electrons are paired. Definitely it will be diamagnetic. It will not attracted by magnetic field, okay, or magnet. So this will be the diagram of hydrogen molecule. Next we will discuss the H2 plus molecule. This will exist, okay, at high energy during ionization. So when hydrogen will lose one electron, it will form H2 plus. So from where the electron it will lose? From this one. So one electron will go from this level. So what will be the bond order here? Bond order will be, that is 1 minus 0 divided by 2, that means 0.5. So definitely H2 plus will exist, and in case of H2 plus, the here will be one H and another will be H plus. So here will be only one electron. okay, at the sigma 1s level. So this is the MO diagram of H2 plus, okay, there will be no electron, only one electron will be there, as well as this will be the, what will be the nature? This will be the paramagnetic because presence of one unpaired electron. And here, as the bond order is 0.5, definitely, okay, it will exist, but at high temperature. Another we can think about that H2 minus. When hydrogen will accept one electron, it will form H2 minus. So in case of H2 minus, so one will be hydrogen and another will be H minus. So in H minus, definitely it will accept one electron, so there will be two electrons. So when we will fill up these electrons, here will be two electrons, and anti-bonding level there will be one electron. So here also bond order will be number of bonding electron 2 minus 1 divided by 2, that will be 0.5. So both bond order is same. Okay. So it is also 0.5, it is also 0.5. Now this one is also paramagnetic in nature because of presence of one unpaired electron. So hope you can understand. Next we will discuss the MO diagram of helium molecule. So this is an hypothetical concept. Why? Because we know that inert gases like or noble gases like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, neutron, they are not forming bond or molecules. Okay. So here we will check whether the existence of H2 is possible or not. So first we are writing that hypothetical H2. So if we draw the MO diagram, definitely this is the energy. These are the atomic orbitals of helium. So these two will combine. This is 1s and this is 1s. So one will be at the lower energy molecular orbital, that is bonding molecular orbital. Another at the higher energy level, anti-bonding molecular orbital. This one is called sigma 1s and this is sigma star 1s anti. Now in each helium atom there will be 2 electrons. So if you fill up this MO, okay, orbitals from lower to higher energy, this will be the condition. So here bond order will be what? Bond order will be number of bonding electron is 2, number of anti-bonding electron is 2 divided by 2, that means 0 by 2, that will be 0. So practically there is no bond between two helium atoms. So He2 will not exist. Hope you can understand. Here from here we can easily predict, okay, or we can tell that why helium atom will not exist and there is no bond. Bond order is 0 between two helium atoms. Okay. But if we think about the existence of He2 plus, that also exists at high temperature. Okay. Actually, it has been detected spectroscopically when an electric discharge is passed through helium gas at low pressure. Okay. So here He2 plus means what we will do, that from He2 molecule there will be loss of one electron forming He2 plus. Okay. This side also you can write, that is forming He2 plus electron. Now from where this electron will go? So this will go from this anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay. So this anti-bonding molecular orbital lose one electron and definitely the bond order will change. That will be 2 minus 1 divided by 2, and here we will get that half, that means 0.5. So when it is bond order is greater than 0, okay, that means it's 0.5, definitely He2 plus will exist. And what will be the magnetic nature? Because of presence of unpaired electron, it will show the paramagnetic character. Okay. So in this way you have to practice the others like lithium 2, also lithium 2 plus, lithium 2 minus. Okay. In the same way you will practice that boron, carbon system, carbon also you will practice C2 minus and C2 2 minus. Now we will start from that two different MO diagram. One will be with sp mixing, another is without sp mixing. So next in our syllabus, these two is very important. One is nitrogen, another is oxygen. So that we will draw here. So in case of nitrogen, we know the outer electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. This is the electronic configuration. So outer will be 2s2, 2p3. So from 2 we will write. Okay. So this is the MO diagram for nitrogen. This is the energy. And I have already told you for boron, carbon and nitrogen, the energy gap between these 2s and 2p, okay, that will be small, and so there will be sp mixing. Okay, so this is the atomic orbital of nitrogen. This is also nitrogen. Suppose this one is 2s. So this one will be the sigma 2s. This one is the sigma star 2s. This one is the bonding and this one is the anti-bonding. Then 2p will come. In this 2p level, what will happen? That pi will be at the lower position. This one is the pi 2px and pi 2pz. Sorry, pi 2px and pi 2py. And this one will be the sigma 2pz. And then there is pi star 2px and pi star 2py. Okay, and above this there will be another MO anti-bonding, that is the sigma star 2pz. Now in this case there will be, this one is 2p. The energy gap between 2s and 2p is small. Definitely there will be sp interaction, sp mixing. Okay, so because of this sp mixing, this energy level of this sigma, there will be repulsion between the sigma star 2s and sigma 2p, and it will go above, and pi will be the stable and it will come down. That you have to understand and you have to remember also. Okay, then we will according to the above principle and Mond's rule, you have to fill up the electrons. So here 2 electron is there, so both will cancel each other, and in this case here total number of electron will be 3 electron. So total 6 electrons. So here will be 2 electron, 2 electron, and here will be 2 electron. So in this case, if we consider the bond order of nitrogen, N2 molecule, number of bonding electron will be, in this case this one is cancelled, but we can also consider as the valence shell. Okay, so total number of bonding electron will be 8 minus anti-bonding 2 divided by 2, that will be 6 by 2, that will be 3. So between 2 nitrogen, this is the MO molecular orbital. Okay, so between 2 nitrogen there will be 3 bonds. Okay, so that is why bond order is 3. And if you look at the magnetic behavior here, so all are paired, all electrons are paired, so definitely it will be diamagnetic in nature. Okay, now we will discuss the different species of nitrogen, that is the N2 plus. Next one we will discuss that N2 minus, and next we will discuss N2 2 minus. So when we will discuss this N2 plus, so N2 plus means here this one is the highest energy occupied molecular orbital. Okay, this one is called HOMO, and this one is called LUMO. HOMO means highest occupied molecular orbital, LUMO means lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. Okay, so when nitrogen will release one electron or forming N2 plus, so it will release the electron from this sigma 2pz. Okay, that means the HOMO. And what will be the bond order then? So one bonding electron will be less, so it will be 7 minus 2 divided by 2, that will be 5 by 2. Okay, we will get the bond order 2.5. Okay, here also what you will observe that here one electron is less in case of N2 plus, one will be the plus here. So definitely presence of one unpaired electron will make it what? Paramagnetic. Okay. Next, if we discuss the N2 minus, so here it will be minus, and here will be total number of electron will be 4. This 2p4. So here there will be one electron, and then what will happen? That here we have to add one electron because nitrogen is accepting one electron forming N2 minus. So in this case one electron will be here. So definitely bond order will be total number of bonding electron 8 minus 3 divided by 2, that will be 5 by 2. Okay, that is 2.5. Okay, that means N2 plus and N2 minus bond order is same. And here if we consider N2 minus, then this nitrogen molecule will accept 2 electron forming N2 minus. So N2 minus, we are showing in the same diagram that here we have to add one more electron. Here one electron, so another electron will come here. Okay, so now this one is HOMO, highest occupied molecular orbital pi star 2px and pi star 2py. So next what will happen? The bond order will decrease, total of bonding electron will be 8 in case of N2 minus. In case of N2 minus, we are calculating the bond order. So bond order will be 8 minus, total 8 minus 4. That means 4 by 2. So bond order will be 2. Okay. So next, if anybody asks to arrange the bond order, okay, so in the decreasing order, then first will be the N2, then will be the N2 minus, or N2 plus N2 minus is almost same. In your level you have to know up to this. Later higher standard you will know better. Okay. Now in N2 minus, N2 2 minus will come. So their bond order is 3. Here this is the bond order. Okay. So it is 3, it is 2.5 and it is 2. Okay. And here also presence of 2 unpaired electron. That means it has greater, the highest paramagnetism compared to the all. Hope you can understand. In the same way, we have to discuss the MO diagram for oxygen. In case of oxygen, chlorine, neon, okay, the energy gap between 2s and 2p, okay, is high. That is why there will be no sp mixing. So the order of the MO orbitals, molecular orbitals, okay, that will be there in the regular order. So this is the energy. Here also 2s will combine of oxygen. These are the atomic orbitals of oxygen. Okay, these 2s will form sigma 2s, and another at higher energy level sigma star 2s. This one is the bonding MO, sigma 2s, and this one is the anti-bonding MO. Next 2p will come, so here the gap is large, so definitely there will be no 2p mixing, that is 2px, 2py and 2pz, 2px, 2py and 2pz. So here sigma will be at the lower level, so this will be the sigma 2pz. Next the pi will come, this one is pi 2px, pi 2py, and the anti-bondings are, this one is pi star 2px, pi star 2py, and this will be the sigma star 2pz. Now this is the MO molecular orbitals. Okay. So now according to Hund's rule and above this rule, we have to fill up the electrons. So here 2s there will be 2 electrons and 2p there will be the 4 electrons. Here also same case. Now total 8 electrons. So here there will be 6 electrons and in antibonding there will be 1 electron. So from here we can easily explain why oxygen is paramagnetic. Because of the presence of 2 unpaired electrons in the pi star 2px and pi star 2py. Okay, that means in highest occupied molecular orbital, okay, this is the HOMO. Okay, here 2 unpaired electrons is present, that is why it is paramagnetic. Okay, now we will calculate the bond order. So here bond order will be equal to number of bonding electron. So here we forget to write these electrons. Okay, here will be 4 electrons, 2 will be there in the bonding and the other 2 will be the anti-bonding. So total number of bonding electron will be here 6 plus 2 8. Number of anti-bonding electron will be 2 plus 2 4. That means 8 minus 4 divided by 2, that will be the 4 by 2, that will be the 2. So definitely between two oxygen atom there will be 2 bonds. That is why bond order is 2. Now we will discuss some ions like O2 plus, O2 2 plus, O2 minus and O2 2 minus. Okay. Next, for this O2 plus, definitely 1 electron will lose from this part. Okay, that means either pi star 2px or pi star 2py. Okay, so definitely bond order will decrease or increase. When electron will go from the anti-bonding, definitely bond order will increase. But if electron goes from the bonding, the bond order will decrease. Okay, so here in case of O2 plus 1 electron will be removed from this part. Okay, that means from this anti-bonding pi star 2py. Okay, so definitely its bond order will be 8 minus 3. Here in the anti-bonding 2, here 1 divided by 2. So it will be 5 by 2, that will be the 2.5. And in case of O2 2 plus, this will be removed. Okay, so here bond order will be 8 minus 2 divided by 2, that will be the 3. But in case of O2 minus, what will happen? Here 1 electron will be added. So here bond order will be less than 2. That means bond order will be 8 minus 5 divided by 2. That means 1.5 less than 2. Okay. And when we are adding 2 electrons, that means bond order in case of this O2 2 minus will be 8 minus 6 divided by 2. That means 1. So in this way we can easily arrange the bond order. So in case of O2, what is the bond order? That will be the 2. In case of O2 plus, it is increasing 2.5. This one is 3. And again O2 minus. In case of O2 minus, we have discussed the bond order. It is 1.5. And in case of O2 2 minus, it is 1. So in this way, the highest bond order will be in case of O2 plus, then O2 2 plus, then O2 plus will come, then O2 will come, then O2 minus will come, then O2 2 minus will come. So in this way, we calculate the bond order as well as their magnetic behavior. When there will be unpaired electron, that is called paramagnetic. Okay, when there is all paired electrons in the MO diagram, that is called what? That is called diamagnetic. Hope you can understand. So definitely from this part question will come in your exam. So this part you have to understand, and till if you have any question you can ask me, okay, through my WhatsApp number. Otherwise you can send questions through your school's query button. Okay, and whatever we are discussing here, this is the homonuclear diatomic molecule. Heteronuclear case will be different. Okay, that is not in your syllabus, in our board syllabus. That is why I am not discussing here, because time is very short. We have to complete the syllabus. Next we will discuss another important thing. We have already completed that discussion of covalent and ionic bond. So that coordinate part is left. So all of you know that coordinate bond is one kind of semi-polar covalent bond where both the shared pair of electrons is supplied or coming from the single atom, okay, forming the bond. Suppose we can think about that ammonia and BF3 interaction, boron difluoride. Ammonia containing one lone pair and boron difluoride is electron deficient molecule. So definitely nitrogen will donate the electron pair to this boron, okay, to complete the octet. So this one is called donor atom and this one is called acceptor atom. So finally there will be formation of one bond. This bond is semi-polar because there will be formation of partial charges. This one is plus, this one is minus, and this bond arrow will be towards the acceptor who is accepting the electron. Yeah, okay, and this bond is also called dative bond. Now in your syllabus we have to know the some special type of molecules, their coordinate bond. First one we discuss that chlorous acid. Chlorous acid structure will be like this, HOClO. Here will be one dative bond like this. Here all octet is filled up. And this name of the compound is chlorous acid, HClO2. Next we will discuss the chloric acid, that is HOCl. Here one dative bond or coordinate bond is here, one bond is there. So here there are 2 electrons, here 6 electrons. This one is called chloric acid, and another is called perchloric acid. That also you have to know, HOClO4. This one is called perchloric acid. These structures are very important, you have to practice. Okay, where coordinate bonds are present, showing by arrow. Okay. Next one is ammonium and hydronium. Here we are not writing, already you have practiced in class 10. Next we will discuss the nitric acid. In case of nitric acid, the structure will be like this. Here will be one that coordinate bond, this plus and this one is minus. Okay, that also you can show, when you cannot show, these are actually called formal charge. Already I have discussed in case of nitric acid. Next we will discuss the ozone molecule. Here we can show the lone pair of electrons also. Now in case of ozone, there will be one coordinate bond. Okay, this is case of ozone. So these coordinate compounds have higher melting point and boiling points than those of the covalent compounds because of semi-polar nature. Or charge is there, okay, some percentage of ionic character is present, and these coordinate compounds, okay, compounds molecules, reactions will be slow. Okay, ionic reaction will be fast and here the reaction will be slow. Okay, and these coordinate compounds can show isomers. Okay, that means isomerism because these bonds are rigid as well as they are directional. Okay, they are giving the shape of the molecule. That is why they can show also isomer. When we read the coordination chemistry part, then we will discuss different types of isomers. Okay, that you have to know. Today I want to finish your chemical bonding chapter, and next day we will start a new chapter, that is organic chemistry. Okay, basic concept and of organic chemistry and general principles and techniques. That chapter will start. Next and the last topic I will discuss from this chemical bond. Actually, resonance is not in your syllabus. When we discuss organic, there we will discuss the resonance. Here we will not discuss. Next, we will discuss that hydrogen bond. Okay. All of you know that water is liquid and H2S is gas. Okay. Although H2S molecular weight is higher compared to the H2. Why? This is because of hydrogen bonding. What is hydrogen bonding? It is an electrostatic force of attraction between the hydrogen atom and one molecule and a high electronegative element such as nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, sometimes chlorine, okay, present within the same molecule or another molecule of the same or different compounds is known as hydrogen bond. Suppose if we think about the HM molecule, in HM molecule this fluorine is more electronegative, so it will be delta negative and this will be delta positive. Definitely there will be one interaction with another HM molecule. They are delta positive and delta negative. So this delta negative and delta positive will attract each other. Definitely there will be one weak type of non-covalent. This is not covalent, non-covalent interaction. This is called hydrogen bond. Now what are the conditions for effective hydrogen bonding? Higher the electronegativity of the atom bonded to the hydrogen atom so that the bond is sufficiently polar. So this is one condition. Another condition is the small size of the atom bonded to the hydrogen atom so that it will be able to attract the bonding electron pair effectively. Okay, and only nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, sometimes chlorine can form the strong hydrogen bonds because they have high value of electronegativity. Okay, and small atomic size. Okay, now if we discuss the electronegativity order, all of you know that chlorine is the highest electronegative, then oxygen, then is the nitrogen. So if we think about the strength of the hydrogen bond, definitely when HL is forming with bond with fluorine, so definitely its bond energy will be highest, it will be around 40 kilojoule per mole. But when oxygen is forming hydrogen bond, okay, so here will be H. When oxygen is forming that hydrogen bond, then its energy will be lower compared to the HF. Okay, this fluorine atom compared to this fluorine atom, it will be around 28 kilojoule per mole. But if we think about the nitrogen, so when nitrogen attacks with oxygen, when it will form hydrogen bond, here the bond energy will be very low, that will be around 8 kilojoule per mole. Okay, so from here we can easily understand or we can compare with the covalent bond. In case of covalent bond, the energy will be around 300 to 400 kilojoule per mole. So hydrogen bond is much weaker compared to the covalent bond. Generally, two types of hydrogen bonds are there. One is intermolecular hydrogen bonding, another is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So hydrogen bond are two types. One is intermolecular and another is intramolecular. When the hydrogen bond is present, okay, between two different molecules, definitely it is called intermolecular hydrogen bond. We can show you one example that FH is forming hydrogen bond like this. So here this is called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So between two different molecules forming that hydrogen bond. But when hydrogen bond is present within the same molecule, okay, then it is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So here we are showing that orthonitrophenol. So then it is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay. Now from this hydrogen bonding, okay, different types of question will be asked. That orthonitrophenol is steam volatile, but paranitro is not. Okay, because in case of orthonitrophenol, okay, this is orthonitrophenol. Because of this intramolecular hydrogen bonding, so there will be no association between two molecules. Okay, so its total molecular weight will be less. But when we are thinking about the para isomer, definitely there will be hydrogen bonding with this OH, another nitrogen of the another molecule. There will be the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So there will be long association of molecules. So definitely it will be its boiling point will be higher. Okay, and it is not steam volatile. Next, we can discuss the association of molecule like benzoic acid. If we think about the benzoic acid, because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, there will be formation of dimer in benzene, like panpolar solvent also. Okay. So this is the structure of benzoic acid. It is forming the dimer. So there will be association. Now sometimes we can discuss the solubility of alcohol in water. Alcohol also form intermolecular hydrogen bonding with water, like methanol, ethanol. These are water soluble. But if we increase the alkyl chain length, then definitely because of hydrophobic effect, the solubility of the alcohol will decrease. Now glycerol is more viscous compared to the water. Why? Because glycerol, if we see the structure of the glycerol molecule, there will be 3 OH bond. So there will be greater extent of hydrogen bonding. That is why it is more viscous compared to the water. So hydrogen bonding is also responsible for the viscosity of a compound. Next, if we discuss the density of ice, in case of ice there will be tetrahedral structure. One water molecule will be hydrogen bonded with another 4 water. Definitely there the distance between the 2 water molecules will increase and its density will be less. That is why ice floats in water. Okay, that also may be asked as a question. And why water is liquid and H2S is gas? Because in case of water there is oxygen and sulfur cannot form hydrogen bond. So because of the long association of the water through hydrogen bond, okay, definitely what will happen? The boiling point will increase in case of water, okay, or water is liquid. But in case of H2S, as there is no hydrogen bond, so definitely it will remain as gas. And the last we will discuss that why water has higher boiling point than HF. Just now we have discussed that fluorine can form strong bond, but definitely if we see the structure, that one HF will be attached with 2 HF, okay, by hydrogen bonding. But in case of water, one water molecule will be attached with the 4 water molecule, okay, through hydrogen bond. So because of the more number of association or greater extent of hydrogen bonding, water boiling point is high, okay, higher compared to the HF. So in this way, today I have completed this chemical bonding chapter, and you have to read and go through the exercise problems that I every day I am giving as a worksheet. If you have any kind of problem, you can ask me, okay, or you can send me questions, okay. And next day we will start, okay, your organic chemistry part in the first chapter, that is in your half yearly series. So today up to this, thank you.